Michelangelo went back to Florence. Why? Because the government of Florence decided to give him a great commission, the David. First of all, let me tell you something about the statue. The statue is magnificent. It's very large, it's very tall. It's completely out of proportion. Michelangelo was able to make perfect bodies. You remember the Bacchus, you remember the Pieta, but look at the David. The hands are bigger than the body. The feet are larger. The head is larger. People tell me, yeah, Simone, because it was supposed to stand on a higher stand. Yeah, like all the other statues in the world. The statues are always standing higher. So what's the reason why this is the only one with a larger head? Michelangelo decided to show you, it's me. Okay, I'm able to do perfect bodies. I'm able to make them. Now I want to make something different. Now it's my art. It's Michelangelo's art. So I changed the game. Look at the eyes of this statue. Look at this height. It's so concentrated. Okay, there's so much psychology in this David, much better than the Pieta. Okay, the Pieta was more like still life in some way. What's the symbolism of the David? What's the reason why Michelangelo made the David? It's very complicated. It's a political story. You remember the story of David and Goliath, the small David that was able to kill Goliath. This is Goliath. This is the David. This is David. And he cut his head. Okay, who is Goliath? Who is David? David is Florence. Goliath is the Medici family. Now it's confusing. A few minutes ago, I told you that the Medici family was ruling Florence. So what's the reason why now Florence moves against the Medici? Because the Florentine government was tired of being controlled by the Medici family. So when Lorenzo de' Medici died and his son was very weak, Piero de' Medici was not very good, they decided to move the family out from the city. The Medici family was driven out from the city in exile, and they made a new Republican government against the Medici family. Obviously, the Medici start paying and corrupting in order to re-enter the city, but for a long time, for like 15 years, they were not able to re-enter, and they wanted Michelangelo to make a symbol of the small Republic of Florence that fights the giant, the Medici family. So the David is the Republic of Florence. The giant is the Medici. That's the symbolism. What is very strange, Michelangelo was born in Florence at the time of Lorenzo. He was invited to the house of the Medici family. He had lunch and dinner with Lorenzo and Piero, his son. Piero was one of his best friends. What's the reason why he moved against the family? Because he was a Republican guy and he didn't tolerate the power that the Medici family was able to have in Florence. He wanted the power to be shared between the population of Florence. So he moved against the family and he was going to pay for it. And I'm going to show you why. The David is amazing. It was put in front of the symbol of the Republic of Florence, the Signoria Palace. The Signoria Palace today has a David in front of it, but it's not the original one. It's a copy. The original is in the Accademia Gallery because in 1527, the David was damaged by people during a fight in the square, and they decided to fix it with the original fragments. Fortunately, they were able to save the fragments, and they moved it to the Accademia in order to protect the statue. Now Michelangelo was the most famous artist of Italy. He made the Pieta, he made the David. It was time to go back to Rome to make the real money. St. Peter's Basilica. There was another election in the Sistine Chapel. We made a great pope, Pope Julius II. You see the portrait of Julius underlined in this slide, okay? This is Julius. Julius has been the greatest pope of the Renaissance. He was pope for 10 years, 1503, 1513. When I say greatest pope, don't imagine a great Christian, okay? Julius was a warrior. He was a corrupted, aggressive, egomaniac, military pope, okay? But he was a great leader and he made Rome great. Obviously, when we evaluate the life of a pope, we have to use different parameters. At that time, a great pope was a violent man. He was an aggressive man. Today, Francis is an amazing pope, but is everything but violent, okay? But times are different, okay? Julius wanted to be an emperor. Remember that his real name was not Julius. The pope changes the name after the election. He chose the name Julius because he wanted to be a new Julius Caesar, okay? So he wanted to be an emperor, and he wanted a monument in St. Peter's Basilica that was worth of an emperor, an imperial tomb for his body after he died. Julius was 65 when he was elected. At that time, he was very old, so he knew that the death was coming, and he wanted the monument to be ready quickly, and he used Michelangelo. He told Michelangelo, I want you to make for me a monument that is the tomb of an emperor. Michelangelo designed a gigantic tomb. Sorry for this Photoshop. I'm very bad, and I could make it better, but it's just to give an idea of the size of the monument as it was supposed to be. It was a gigantic thing made of marble when there were 40 marble statues, natural size, On the basement, 6 gigantic statues, including the Moses, that was the only one that Michelangelo was really doing, plus the tomb of the Pope. It was a pyramid of power. Michelangelo was the happiest man in the world. How much was he paid for this tomb? 12,000 golden ducati. Can you imagine the difference between the 30 golden ducati he was paid a few years earlier and the 12,000 that he got now? People ask me, Simone, how much is it? We cannot do any comparison, but just for you to know, in one of his letters, Michelangelo's father, Ludovico, told Michelangelo, if you're able to get in your entire life 3,000 golden ducati, our family will be rich again. With one single commission, Michelangelo got 4 times the money he needed to recover the status of his family.